Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Back again. You can't get rid of me, can you? So, I'm in. Okay, that's working. So, I'm in T3, but I'm only just in T3. So, I don't have fantastic gear, and I'm a little concerned that it's not quite good enough to keep in T3 without dying. So what I'm running is Wolves because it gives me a little more defense. With Cataclysm because I want to run a Cataclysm Druid, and I'm running Pulverize. But my Rotting Lightbringer is not particularly brilliant. It's not a GA. There's no GAs on it whatsoever. I got a regular pair of boots, which is actually a half decent pair of boots. I think I'm going to change away from Windstriker. I'll probably put maybe on Concussive Strikes or something like this. At the moment, I'm running the Godslayer because it's got cooldown reduction on there and it's a GA to life. And it's actually not a bad piece of armor actually overall. And then on my gloves, I've got resistance to wall, which takes me up to sort of the carps. It's not a fantastic pair of gloves. And then I've got the GA on a resist to all, which helps there. And some shockwave for the pulverize. Then I got Fists of Fate, and the GA is on Lucky Hit, which is a good thing. Attack speed, crit chance, and randomly 360. So that's a half decent pair. And then I've got Gathan's Birthright, movement speed while in human form. And it gives me the Perfect Storm and Earthing Might key passives, which is actually pretty good for the Cataclysm that I want to run. But again, it's not a GA on anything here. And I guess if I was wanting a GA, it'd be either probably Willpower or Humanity. The rest of them I'm not too worried about. Then I've got, and again, it's not a fantastic amulet, but I don't have any better. It's GA to Lucky Hit. Yeah, but fine. It's okay. And I've got Upper Jake Führer for the increase in the ultimate, which is the Cataclysm. Then I got Ayadara, and again it's Lucky Hit, so my Lucky Hit is out of this earth. But it would have been much better on ultimate cooldown reduction. This is the thing. And then I got Mjolnir. I mean, it's not a GA on anything, but I did hit at least once on Endless Tempest. And it's got a 35% increased damage, which is okay. But again, I've got one non-GA, two non-GA, three non-GAs in this setup. I'm hoping that I can get an Ayadara or Mjolnir is one of the slots on here, and then that'll free up so I can put on a different. And I want a Rotten Lightbringer is one of these as well, so I can then run maybe a sword and a focus, or a mace and a focus, one of the two, or maybe a dagger. It depends on how I find. So I think that I'm sort of okay, but only sort of okay. Let's get rid of a couple of these things. Chaos Rev, Gem Reserve. Oh, I'll run that actually. So I'll run that now. See how it goes. I'm a little concerned, as I say, that I might be a little underpowered for T3 because there are actually really quite big jumps between T1 and T2, T3 and T1 and T2, T2 and T3. So my armor isn't up to scratch. So I am going to take... So on the others, T3s, I was essentially running through all of these. Now, I'm a little... even though I've got Gothen's Birthright, which is doing the humanity, I'm not actually running in human form too often. But I'm sort of okay with that right now. Okay, there's the... There's the XP well. And that seemed to come through that relatively unscathed. But that's what I'm a little afraid of. Now that was actually okay. But I don't want to hit that getting immobilized by like frozen or something. And then when I've already taken some damage, I think I'm hitting okay. I'm just... I tell you, you focus a lot more when you're running hardcore, that's for sure. And I'm killing everything. Got some runes dropping, which is nice. I have to remember that I'm not running a pit here, I'm running a nightmare dungeon. Okay, I'm missing something there. So the build I'm running is sort of loosely based on a build I had for season 7, I'd like to say. And then sort of taking into account some of the chaos stuff. So it's not exactly the same, but similar. So what I'll do, I'll maybe release an update to my build on Mobalytics, sort of having a mid-game build, because that's essentially what this is right now. It's a mid-game build. It's not in ooh 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 ooh. Yeah, that needs me to be a little more careful. That poison was a bit nasty. But what I've noticed is that on the majority of the websites, whether it be D4 builds or Mobalytics or whatever, there's not many hardcore builds out there. And a hardcore build is not exactly the same as a softcore, because in softcore you can go glass cannon quite easily, because you're not really too fussed about if you die or not, because you don't lose anything. But in hardcore you lose everything. You lose all the progress that you've made and everything that you're wearing. Now, what you've got in your inventory, you keep, but what you're wearing and what you've got in your stash, your inventory, you lose. But what you've got in your stash, you keep. So I'm trying to keep as much as possible in my stash rather than in my actual inventory. I found this out after the first couple of times I died. Now, the good thing about having Cataclysm, you don't up all the time, and it is quite important that you get Cataclysm up all the time, is that I don't run out of spirits for the Pulverize. And I'm pretty much at my cooldown right now is sort of okay for having the Pulverize, having my spirit 100% all the time. But I am being ultra cautious. This is the best I've done in hardcore so far. Okay, there's the boss. So I've hit some smaller problems here that I've had to be a little bit more cautious than I would want to be. But actually, it seems to be generally okay. Okay. But I do have to be taking care. Is he dead? Or has he come back to life? No, he's dead. Okay, that's good. Great Staff of the Crone. I actually got a 4GA Greater Staff of the Crone. And it's like... why? Alright, so there's no GAs in this one, so I'm not going to keep. And a lot of these are low level stuff in case I die again. But even I think now that essentially we've got, how many days have we got left? 8 days maybe? 7 days. So a week today, my time. It's all over for this season. So if I do die in this week, I think I will just say enough for my hardcore and just take it easy for the rest of the time and then come back in season 11. So I put all of these away. I didn't realize I got quite so many. Ah, geez, my stash is pretty full. But, you know, as I say, I think I might get rid of pretty much all of these, except for my GA stuff. Even a Butcher's Cleaver at 2 GA. I've never ever used the Butcher's Cleaver. Like I said, this is a 3GA on and that's going to go across the Eternal. But reality, will I ever use this 3GA? I doubt very much. The only good thing about it is for the Blood Howl. Thorns and life per second are so okay, but I got a couple of Iodaras here. I probably only need one. Look, 4GA. And even then, it's a 4GA, but it's only a 235, not a 250. Which means, you know, go figure. 4GA should be max everything. But if I was running Storm Strikes, pretty good. But I ain't. But I do need a Rotten Lightbringer. That would be a nice thing to have. So, I got some hordes. Let's go do this at it's a whisper. But again, I'm done. And this is a lot of poison in this, so I need to take extra care perhaps. Now when I was running this on T2, I could literally just run through these. And that is the difference. I mean, I just was very unlikely to hit anything that I just couldn't just run through. But I'm not taking that chance here. Because I just don't want to die. So yes, I'm being more cautious in this until I get some better gear, and then I'll feel a little more confident in running. I mean, this is quite a fast build. Even though I'm running Pulverize. It's just not optimized yet by a long way. This is sort of the mid-game. Okay, so we're open here. Let's take the left hand. Left hand to the damned. See, I'm not quite the Cataclysm is not quite taking everything down, but it's applying vulnerable to everything. So, and then I can use the Pulverize to take everything down. this way. Oh, give up. Do I want to... No, I don't actually. I don't want to do that. Because although that is a pain in the ass, it can actually take you down if you're not careful. So I tend to keep well ahead of it. Oh, that's nice. Some artillery. That'll help for sure. Oh, it looks like I've finished, but let's make sure I've got all these done. Well, so far so good, I would say. Okay, that's good. So I can port out of here. So far so good. Now, what I've done on the skill tree, I'm going for Earth Sign Strength because bonus, and then I get the Perfect Storm and the Earthen Might. What Earthen Might I don't do, but the Earth Sign Strength, and I get the passive for Perfect Storm. Now I've got 5 into Cat, into the Vulnerable, 3 into Defiance, 1 into Natural Disaster. And I'm not, and again, the first part of the Earth skills deal Vulnerable, I'm not worried about. I could potentially put something in there, but I don't. Mending, additional healing, and max life. Provocation and overpower 5% damage. Call of the Wild, Feral Aptitude, Humanity. I actually could take, when I think about it, what I'm going to do. Do it that way. Because I've still got some points in Humanity. I got Nature Reach, increase to distant enemies, which is the kata. That allows me to hit them when they're far away. Then I've got Wolves for the Fortify for life. Now, when I get killed to Blackwing, I might go with the Ravens, which will mean the Call of the Wild and Feral Aptitude comes more into form. I've got Endless Tempest, but again, it's not a GA, and it's increased the duration by 30. Then Backlash for increased damage, increase the non-physical resistance, and Vigilance for damage reduction after using the defensive. And the defensive is Earthen Bulwark, which I've got up into Preserving, which is max life and Fortify. Then this... Why have I got still stuff in Lightning Storm? I didn't realize I got stuff in Lightning Storm. Stupid. So that allows me to put another point in there. And then I think I'll put it into damage reduction when in Werebear form. And a rank into Pulverize. But there, you see? Learn something new. I didn't realize I'd got still stuff in Lightning Storm. So I got a couple into Pulverize, into Raging Pulverize. I didn't want to do the damage reduction. I want damage. And as you see, Iron Fur, damage reduction when in Werebear. Just 1 into the Predatory. Because we actually do I think maybe that's better. Crit strike chance. We've sort of not got masses of it. Heart of the Wild to open up Wild Impulse. And the pulverizes the core. So, and then Claw into Enhanced Claw. Now, I could put Earth Spike, which is a nature. And run it that way. But it really doesn't make too much difference, I don't think, because I don't hit anything with the basic skills. Now, for Paragons, so I started off with Headhunter because it gives me a bonus to all the normal nodes. Now, I may change this across to something like Keeper, but I'll not do that unless I go to Ravens. I'll keep it the way it is right now. Then coming up into the second board, I went with Thunderstruck because I've got the my key is the Cataclysm. Jeez. Yeah, is the Cataclysm, and that's why I'm running also Earth and Sky, because Cataclysm is nature damage. Damage to close and storm damage. So damage to close is good for pulverize. It pulverizes a lot of times as damage to close. And I've tried to maximize, just get enough of what I need to open up the glyph properly. Then the next board I decided I was going for Heightened Malice because of poison. And you say, well, why poison? Because if we come into our Spirit Boons, dealing damage with storm skills, Cataclysm, applies poisoning damage. So you apply poison. That's why. So I've came into the third board is Heightened Malice, which is about poison. And in this one, I put Spirits for crit strike damage because there's quite a lot of actual dex in this board. It's one of the boards that's got a fair bit of dexterity to it. Not the absolute best, but I might change away from Spirits some other time, but so far this is okay. Then I'll come up into Ancestral Guidance, and I've put in here Werebear. Some people on Ancestral Guidance put Human in there, but I'll put Werebear because I'm in Werebear form much more often than I'm in Human. And if I change away from Gathan's Birthright, then this is just a no-brainer to have it in Werebear. And again, just enough to open up willpower into the, just to open up the glyph. Make sure I've got it into here. And here you need 40 willpower. But there again, later, every 5 willpower, and there's quite a lot of willpower in this board. That gives you additional damage. Then for the last board, I came into Untamed, casting the companion skill, thinking that if I get the kill of Black One, a decent one, then I'll be moving into Ravens, and Ravens is good. But also, this is still okay with the Wolves. Just I'm just thinking Wolves is okay, but maybe I still want to go to Ravens. And then, so I just enough to open it up. So that's that open. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that I've got the Untamed actually up and running, then what I'm going to start to do is to, well, things like this, the damage reduction from elites, resistance to all elements, companion cooldown. This one I'm not worried about. Don't think I need this. Lucky hit, vulnerable damage, maybe later, but these two are relatively important. Basic attack speed, I don't use basic, but certainly these two nodes here is pretty important. All the rest of the stuff I've opened up on that board. Things like this, damage reduction from poisoned, is only a couple of nodes away. So this is probably going to be my next one, because most of the stuff that we hit with Cataclysm, they're poison. So damage reduction from poison's pretty good. And then we've got the resist all on here. I'm not worried about them. And then coming down into these other boards, lightning resist, no need for this. Crit strike chance, that's a later thing. And damage reduction from vulnerable, that's a later thing. I think these other ones are better. And then just padding out the board, because this is Headhunter, which gives me bonus to the normals. So that's, instead of 5 we get 6, and so on and so on. 6 willpower instead of 5. So that gives us just that extra little bit of bonus to all these nodes in here. So that's going to be a key. Max life, armor, I need armor, but the max life are 2 nodes that are probably better for me at the minute. So that's where we are on the skill tree in the Paragon board, just to give you half an idea. So now we've got the Earth Spike, which is the nature. Perfect Storm and Earthen Might. So Perfect Storm is about, and then Earthen Might. Earth skills. Come back. And that's an Earth skill. But don't really use that particularly much. So right now, where are we? What shall we do next? If I'm going to run Infernal Hordes, I'm going to actually go down to 2. I don't want to take the chance of getting smacked in T3. If I can get, pardon me, a couple of pieces of Chaos Armor, I'll feel a little more comfortable about staying in T3. Okay, I'll just... In T3 I've got more than enough armor, which is fine. Puffing masses. Okay, I'll take this. I was thinking about the legions. I'm not too worried. As long as I get over 666. And then over 1,000 is a... final. I haven't, even on an 8 I can get over 1,046, so I'm fine. Or 1,000, whatever. I think the most I have ever got is over 4,000 when I was in T1. The unfortunate thing is that then I got disconnected. So I couldn't go after Bartek, and I didn't get any other benefits from it. I was a little bit upset. But you see here, it's clearing very nicely. I haven't got any real issues with do this one first. And that's how I want it. I don't want to have any potential issues of dying. I'm losing out for sure. On some progression. I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm never going to hit Paragon 300 with this, because we've only got a week left, and quite frankly, I'm not playing 24 hours a day. I've got about another half an hour-ish this morning. I'll be back on, I think, again this afternoon sometime. We'll be again for an hour or so. I'll take faster. That's good. These extra Chaos Hordes is pretty good, actually. The only one I don't like too much is the Whispers, chasing the Whisper things. Even though it gives you a butcher, it's still a bit of a pain in the bum with all these waves trying to kill you. I don't like that very much. Waves trying to kill you when you're softcore, you don't want, but it's not a be-all and end-all. But it is a be-all and end-all here. Okay, I've got... Okay, so... Now this is... I quite like this one, actually. It gives you a decent amount of cinders. But you see, if I had to do this on T3 with the build I've got right now, I don't think I'd be so happy. I think if I can get a Rotting Lightbringer, it would probably be better for me. Wasn't a fantastic one. Goblins is obviously still the best. Had a couple of them, and they're still fun to run. But here I find myself focusing on the mini-map more than anything. Now, I was seeing this morning that the next campfire sit-down, which I thought might be today, but it's actually going to be tomorrow. Wednesday. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, one of the first things I'm going to be doing is watching that. No, just let me, I need to send one message. Okay, so let's see what this one is. Capture the spirits. This is the one I'm not so keen on. First of all, you have to capture the damn spirits. And if you're not running pretty fast, then it's not so easy. And then you got these bloody waves that I need to dodge. Which sometimes I'm better at than others. Even if you keep to the outside. Now here's the butcher. Now you see he's relatively easy to get, but if I had to do this on T3, then I probably wouldn't be so happy. And that's the butcher again. But I'll take the chaos offer, obviously. Okay, I just need to take a minute. I need to put on some rice. So I will be just a couple of minutes. So I'll take a break.